and tell us what are chemical changes. Yes, Prosper, what are chemical changes?
These are changes which are a new substance is formed from the old one and is irreversible.
Very good. These are changes which take place and a new substance is formed from the old one. That changes that takes place and a new substance is formed is what we call chemical changes. They are irreversible. When we talk about irreversible, we mean they cannot be changed back. Once they take place, you cannot change them back to their original state. Let's give some examples of chemical changes. What are these changes? Once they take place, they cannot be reversed. Tristan, unmute and tell us one example of chemical changes. Yes, Tristan. Tristan, you are allowed to speak, yes. Okay, let's go to Edith. Edith, give us one example of chemical changes. One example of a chemical change. Edith? Oh, Edith, your network. Okay, Edith, your network. Can we go to Calvin? Calvin, please. Calvin, give us one example of chemical change.
Rusting.
We have rusting. Very good, Calvin. We have rusting. We go to Comfort. Comfort, can you give us one? Comfort.
Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis.
We have photosynthesis. Very good. Let's go to Louis. I depict you and you didn't tell us. HM. Who is this HM? HM, can you tell us one example of a chemical change? HM. HM, unmute and tell us. You see? Yes.
Before
Soil erosion.
that is the class you are supposed to do.
You are talking about soil erosion when we are talking about changes. When we are talking about chemical change. Okay. Okay, so those are some of the examples, the respiration, fermentation, and so on and so on. We even looked at them into details. So let's not take a lot of time there, but you already have the notes. Even what we are going to learn right now, you will find your notes in your Google Classroom, in your classrooms. So please, yes, I can see some people are responding for me. Kabuye is telling me, fermentation, burning, that is good. Asasira is telling me respiration. Beatrice is telling me respiration. Those are some of the examples of chemical changes that we looked at last time. Today we are going to continue looking at other changes that we have. Especially we have finished biological changes. We have finished biological changes. We have finished the chemical changes. So we have other types of changes that we are going to learn today. And other types of changes that we are going to cover. What are you saying? Okay. Fermentation. Yeah. So thank you for your response. Responses, they have been correct. So let's look at what we are going to learn today. What are we going to look at today? What are we going to discuss today? This is what we are going to discuss today as one of the changes, as one of the types of changes we have in the environment. Having looked at biological changes, having looked at chemical changes, so today we are going to look at physical changes. That is what we are going to learn today. So here, what I expect you to know is that we are going to talk about the meaning of physical changes. I expect you by the end of the lesson, you should be able to define, you should be able to explain what physical changes are. Then also at the end of the lesson, you should be able to give the characteristics of physical changes. Also, you are supposed to give me examples of physical changes, and then we shall have maybe illustration, the diagram to show how these changes take place, maybe from one state to another. So you should be able to describe some of those examples. Even you should be able to explain some of these examples of physical changes that we are going to discuss right now. So members, I expect you to pay attention so that once we are learning, we can explain, so that at the end of the lesson, you are able to define. At the end of the lesson, you are able to give examples of physical changes. So if we talk about physical changes, these are changes in which no new substance is formed and can be reversed. Remember in chemical changes, we say a new substance is formed. A new state of matter is formed. But in physical changes, there is no new substance formed. Yes, it can change from one state to another, but it can be reversed back. It can go back to that. So we are going to look at this as we continue with this lesson. So class, this is the meaning of physical changes. In physical changes, object changes from one state to another and is able to return to its original state. So we are going to look at some of the things that can change from this to this. And once it changes, it can again go back to its original state. That is what it is in physical changes. But in chemical changes, once the change takes place, for example, somebody talked of burning. Once burning takes place, like you burn a wood into ash, that ash cannot come back to become the wood. So, but in this change, which we are calling physical changes, the new substance, there is no new substance formed. Any change that has taken place, it can go back to its original state. So that is what it means by physical change. So I want to ask some few people to read for me the meaning of physical changes. So once I picked you, once I call your name, you please make sure you read for me. So I have here Lillian, teacher Lillian, you can unmute and read for me what physical changes are. Jesse, also you can unmute and read.
These are changes in which no new substance is formed. New substance is formed and can be reversed.
Can be reversed. Can you say reversed?
Reversed.
Reversed means it can be taken back to its original state. That is the meaning of reversed. If you go there, you come back. That is reversed. For example, from where you are sitting, when you enter your bedroom, you come back. It means you have reversed. You have come back. So you have come back to your place. That is the meaning of reverse. So this change, when it takes place, it can be reversed. It can be taken back to its original state. Can I pick also some few again to read the meaning of physical changes, like Edify, you unmute and read. Edify, unmute and read for us. Yes. If your name is Edify, yes. What are physical changes?
Yeah.
Physical changes are changes in which no new substance is formed and can be
reversed. That word is reversed. So learners, before I pick you, I want you to listen to how I'm going to read that word, because I have realized that most of you are not able to read. One, when they ask you what are physical changes, you say physical changes are changes in which no new substance is formed and can be reversed. So there is no new substance, there is no new things formed. it can also be reversed. So this word is called reversed. See, though I'm not hearing you, please, everybody, can we say reversed? Again, can we say reversed? Reversed. So read wherever you are, you read this. These are changes in which no new substance is formed and can be reversed. Everybody, can you read wherever you are?
These are changes in which no new
Okay,
substance
thank
is
you. So
formed and
now
can
I'm
be
going to
reversed.
ask some few people to read. I'm going to ask some few people to read. Oloro, Ethan. Oloro, Ethan, can you unmute and read? Oloro, Ethan.
These physical changes are changes in which no new substance is formed and can be reversed.
Very good, Ethan, for that wonderful reading. Very good. So that is what it means by physical changes. These are changes in which no new substance is formed. So I went ahead and explained that in physical changes, object changes from one state to another, and it is able to return. You see the meaning of reverse, meaning return. You can return, you can go back. So it is able to go back. These changes take place. Once they take place, where it has changed to, it can be able to go back. That is what it means by reversed. So having known that, let's continue and see what else are they trying to tell us here. Note that there are some physical changes which may be irreversible. There are some physical changes which may be irreversible. Irreversible here means they cannot be changed back, but they are physical change. They are physical changes. Okay, so we have here we are saying that an example of a physical change which is irreversible. When an egg is broken, I know all of you know an egg and you are ever eating it. Maybe sometime you eat it for breakfast. Sometimes you eat it for breakfast. Some of us, we boil and then we eat it like that. So when you break an egg, that is a physical change. That eggshell, once it is broken, it is a physical change. But there is no new substance that can be formed from that eggshell. Because once it is broken, it is broken. Does it form any other new thing? No. But can it go back to its original state? No. So when an egg is broken, there is no new substance formed. It is said to be irreversible because the broken egg cannot be put together. So that is an example of a physical change. Beside others, others can be reversed, but this one cannot be reversed. So let's look at examples of physical changes that cannot be reversed. I mean, that are reversible. Let's look at this. What are these examples of physical changes? Examples number one, I know some of you may be having answers. Let me try to ask you. Some of you may be having answers. Let me try. Christabel, no connection. Christabel didn't connect. Daniela, Daniela didn't connect. So some of you have not connected your audio. So it's very hard for me to ask you.
Tonny. Tonny, are you there?
Seems to be having
Okay.
a network problem.
No, Eric, I was
think
there.
You took
No.
his host and he was.
Yeah, he took my host and he muted, so I could not even do anything. I was hearing you, Eric, but he had taken the host. It's okay, let's continue. So learners, we are looking at examples of physical changes. We're looking at examples of physical changes. So what I was trying to say here is that, can you mention for me those examples of physical changes whereby no new substance is formed and it can be reversed? So let me have some learners here to give me some of the answers. Okay, these ones, if I've already picked you, let me give opportunity for others like Trina Magoba. Trina Magoba, can you tell me one example? If you know, you can unmute. Oh, your audio is not there. Trina, you cannot talk to us. You didn't connect your audio. Let's go to Beatrice. Beatrice, yes, Beatrice, give us one example. Beatrice, one example of physical changes, yes?
Breaking a glass.
Breaking a glass. So when a glass is broken, yes, when a glass is broken, that is a physical change and it cannot be reversed. That one is an example of physical change whereby it is irreversible. Because once a glass is broken, it is physical, but it cannot be reversed. So let's focus now on those ones that can be reversed. Let's focus on those examples of physical changes that can be reversed. That's what I want. Those are the examples I want from you. Abigail. Yes, Abigail. Apoyo, Abigail. You can unmute and give me one. Melting, very good. Okay, I think you were far away from your gadget. That's why we could not hear you properly. But I understand you were saying melting. Yes, that is very correct when you talked about melting. That is an example of a physical change. But I don't know what melting is. Maybe with the time you will explain to me what melting is. But let's first give these examples. Yes, Samara? Samara, unmute and give us another one apart from melting. Melting is correct. That is that one. Yes, Samara?
Deposition.
Deposition, very good. There is deposition. Good. Okay. Another one, let me go. This class is very, very bright. I'm teaching very bright children. Let me pick from down here. Some people down here, they have not spoken. Vincent, yes. And Marvin, can you give us another one apart from melting and deposition? Yes, Vincent? Whenever I call you, it means I've already allowed you to unmute. So you just unmute and talk. Once I call your name. Okay, so without wasting time, without wasting time, we can continue. Okay. Without wasting time, we can continue. Marvin, I think you can unmute before I restrict you, Marvin. Okay. Okay, thank you, Marvin. So we have these examples here. One, we have what we call evaporation. Evaporation is an example of physical changes that we have. You see, some of these physical changes, sometimes they are referred to as atmosphere.
Yes, Tonny. Okay. Tonny, are you there? Okay, Tonny briefly has gone off probably his network. Let me just present the work such that we can continue. Mm. Okay, please, Shalom, do you have a question? Shalom, do you have a question?
I wanted to give the answer.
Okay, you wanted to give some examples of physical changes?
Yes.
Yes, you can go ahead and give us one.
Sublimation.
Yes, sublimation.
Sublimation.
You're correct. Thank you very much. We all know what sublimation is.
Yes.
Can you tell the rest? Can you share with the rest the meaning of sublimation?
Sublimation is the process by which solid changes to gas or gas to solid.
Thank you. So that one is one of the examples of physical changes, because you can switch to and from. I think teacher Tony is here.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. I had come a little bit longer when you were asking my learners to give you, but only that you need to keep on checking. I think there was just a network jumped, but I'm back. So Alana was giving us and gave us sublimation, which is correct. We have evaporation, only that I don't know whether I can share the screen.
You can share.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Eric, for that. Yeah, this is where evaporation, and I was telling you that evaporation, this is the process by which liquid changes into gas. For example, when you are boiling water, this is where you can see this change taking place when you are boiling water. When you are boiling water, you see what takes place. There is water vapor. There is what we call water vapor. As you are boiling water, you find something going up like a smoke. So that liquid is now changing into the gas. And also when you look at water bodies, when the sunshine, let's say in the morning, you find some things, evaporation taking place on top of the water, like in the lakes, even when you look at the trees. So this is where some of these changes take place. So we have evaporation. Hilary, can you give us another one? There's somebody who has already given us melting and sublimation. So Hilary, can you give us another one? Hilary? Oh, Hilary is not able to unmute, please.
Condensation. Freezing.
Freezing, very good. Condensation and freezing. Thank you, learners. So let's look at number 2. If it is one of the things, somebody like Hilary said, condensation. So condensation is the process by which gas changes to liquid. Now, I want you to do a very simple experiment at home after this lesson. Or even you have ever done it, especially girls who are ever boiling water for drinking, girls who are ever boiling for us tea. You can see this change, or you can see this type of, or this example of physical change. Once you are boiling water, when you cover the saucepan with a cover, when you open that cover, what do you see in that cover? When you open the cover of the saucepan which you are boiling, what do you see in that cover? Yes, Doreen, what do we see? Doreen?
Drops of water.
Very
on the
good. We
cover.
see drops of water on the cover. So that means that is evaporation. I mean, evaporation. After evaporation, the water condenses. It reaches a point where there is no heat and they cannot escape. Then they again change back to water. So that is why you are saying drop of water. Very good. That is condensation as one of the examples of physical changes. Then we also have freezing. Freezing, already you have given me freezing. What is freezing? Yes, what is freezing? Yes, then Daniel, what is freezing? Yes, Daniel.
Freezing is the process by which a liquid turns to a solid, e.g. frozen, e.g. when juice turns to ice when put in a fridge.
Very good. Very good. You see these examples, you do them at home. You are doing them practically. Not only juice can turn into ice. Even water. When you put water into the fridge, especially where there is a freezer, it turns into ice. So that ice is in solid form. And all of you have seen ice, isn't it? And I remember I showed you some of this. So that is what we call freezing. Freezing is the process by which liquid changes to solid. For example, water froze to ice. That is the past tense of the word freeze. Water froze to ice. So that is what it means by freezing. Yes, Mireme Daniela, can you again explain to us what condensation is before we go to the next? Mireme Daniela, explain to us what condensation is before we go to the next.
Condensation is the process by which gas.
Louder.
Condensation is the process by which gas changes to liquid, e.g. vapor to water when condensed. When condensed, yes. When it cools down, for example, when you are boiling and I told you cover the saucepan, the vapor can change. That vapor is the gas that is moving up after boiling, after heating the water seriously. So once it reaches the saucepan cover, it will condense. Again, it drops down. So you can see that from gas to liquid. Again, it can change from liquid to gas. That's what it means by physical change, can be reversed. Once you get ice, that ice can melt to become liquid again. Are you getting, learners? So that is what we mean by physical changes. Somebody was telling me that I'm fast, that's why now I'm moving slowly. Already you have also mentioned for me this word, melting. Melting, what do we mean by melting? So let me pick someone because you had just told, Emily. Emily, you unmute and tell us what melting is. Emily?
Melting is the process by which solid changes to liquid, e.g. ice melts when heated. Very good. So get that. For example, if you put, some of you can put Renzori water or ice water. There is that water, they call it ice water. So once you go and put it in the fridge, that water is going to turn into ice. So once it turns into ice and you remove it, you cannot drink it because it is too cold. It is packed together. It is in solid form. So what you can do, again, you can subject it into what? Into it. You can eat it. You can maybe put it near a source of heat so that you can put near a source of heat and then you remove. So after you have removed, you will find that it has changed. That solid has changed into liquid, which you can now even take it as water. You can take it as liquid. So that is what it means by melting. Then when my network went off, I found somebody also talking about the change of sublimation, that this is the process by which solid changes to to yes. So somebody was telling us sublimation, that this is the process by which solid changes to gas, or gas changing to solid. Yes. So that is what we are saying, sublimation. Now I have drawn for you this this diagram. I have drawn for you this diagram to describe these examples, how this evaporation take place from maybe liquid to gas, how condensation take place from gas to liquid, how freezing take place from liquid to gas. I have that diagram. But before we reach that diagram, there are some other examples. There are some other examples of physical changes that we can also need to know that, oh, when I do this, that is a physical change. For example, this one here, who can read for us this? Let me pick someone to read for us that example. I have Edwin T350. Edwin T350. Give us that example of physical change. Stretching of a rubber band. Very good. Stretching. Okay, when you are stretching your rubber band, that's a change. It is changing from maybe short to long. But once you leave stretching, once you leave pulling it, it goes back to its state. Are you seeing that that is a physical change?
Yes.
Yeah, because once you stretch it, there is no new product form. There is no new substance form. So when you leave it, it will go back to its original state. That is an example of a physical change. You all know rubber band. I want you after this, go and get a rubber band. Some of you, your parents are using it to maybe tie their money in bundles. I know some girls, they use rubber band to tie their hair on their head because they have long hair. They want to tie with a rubber band. So when you stretch it, it will be long. When you leave it, it will go back to its original state. Very good. Two, another example, apart from those ones we have mentioned, there is that one also. There is that example. Can I pick Salom? Salom, can you read that?
Dissolving a solute into a solvent.
Dissolving a solute into a solvent.
Yes, what do we mean by solute and solvent? We learned this in primary 4 when we were talking about oral rehydration solution. We learned it very well in primary 4. So what do we mean when we say solute and solvent? Yes, dissolving a solute into a solvent. Now, in simple term, when we talk of this word solute, this is a substance that dissolves into a liquid. Substance that dissolves into a liquid. For example, salt. When you mix salt into water, that salt is going to dissolve. So it does not form any new substance. But once you boil that water to dryness, once you put that water to boil and it dries, that salt will come back. It will remain under the saucepan. I've seen. So it can come back to become salt. That's why they are saying this is an example of a physical change. Then also there is this one, expansion. Expansion. When we are looking at under this topic called heat energy, you look at the expansion of railway. There is a gap which is left on the railway line. That gap is to allow expansion to take place. Now, when expansion takes place, it can again contract. It can again go back. It can expand and then it goes back. You learned this expansion very well when we are talking about railway. And even when you talk about the lines, sometime on sunny day, you find the line is loose. When it is cold, you find it is very tight. Electricity, yes. So that is an example of a physical change. Then there is a girl who told me deposition. Just like changing a place of something. So the deposition also is another one. And then, okay, so those are some of the examples of physical changes that we have. in the environment. So, having looked at all this, let's look at the characteristics of physical changes. Remember, I told you that these characteristics, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to give me what are physical changes. You should be able to give me examples of physical changes, and you should be able to give me characteristics of physical changes. So let's look at the characteristics of physical changes. So I have some hands up that want to give me, but I see Edith, you have already participated. Hilary, you have already participated. Grant, you have not yet. Yes? Okay, Edith, you have already participated. Desmond, Leah. Okay, Leah, can you give me one characteristics? Namataka, Leah, yes. One. You see, you can pick the, let me tell you the idea, the whole idea about these characteristics when you are talking about changes in the environment. Look at the meaning. If I ask you what are the characteristics of biological changes, the answer also can come from the meaning. What is the meaning of physical change? Physical change, these are changes where no new substance is formed and can be reversed. So there are two characteristics.
Yes,
One,
teacher.
give me now.
No new substance is formed.
Very good. No new substance is formed. That is one of the characteristics of physical changes, the behavior of physical changes. No new substance is formed. You got the answer from the meaning. So once you understand this, you can give the characteristics of chemical change, you can give the characteristics of biological change, and even the one for physical changes. So in physical changes, no new substance is formed. Very good, Leah. Can I pick Daniel? Yes, Daniel. Give me another one. Even you can pick from the meaning also, Daniel. Leah has picked from the meaning. Daniel, how about you? Okay, Daniel can't come. Oh, there is Cornerstone. Yes, Cornerstone. And is formed. Sorry, okay, unmute again.
They are reversible.
Very good. They are reversible. Very good. One, we have they can be reversed. When physical changes take place, they can be reversed. That's why you are saying they are reversible. And then two is what Leah has given us. They do not form. They do not form new substance.
They
do not form new.
There's no change in weight, size.
Okay, there is no change in weight, size.
No.
Good. So here we have, they do not form new substances. Somebody also said there is no change in weight, size, and quantity. Yes, so when a gas change into liquid, there is no change in weight, there is no change in size and quantity. Those are the characteristics. And then also, no heat or light is given out or absorbed.
Yes.
Yes, there is no light given out, there is no heat given out once they are taking place. When ice is changing into liquid, it does not give you light, it does not give you heat. That is what they are saying. When liquid is changing into gas, that liquid does not give you heat, does not give you light. It is not the one producing light once liquid is changing. So this is what they are talking about, the characteristics of physical changes. So just like I promised you earlier on, that we are going to see the summary of the diagram showing us the physical changes in the states of matter.
Yes.
Maybe from liquid to gas, from gas to liquid in summary form. And this is very common sometime in the exams. Now, look at this. We have already learned this, by the way. We learned this under matter and energy. We learned about it. Matter is anything that occupies space and as what? And as weight. Very good. You learned about it, and you learned about states of matter. State of matter we have. Can you give me the states of matter? And those three diagrams, Favor, can you give me 3 states of matter that you know? Favor, unmute. Favor, unmute. Okay, Queen. Yes, Queen, my Queen. My Queen, unmute and tell us the 3 states of matter.
States of matter. We have gas.
Yeah,
we have gases, liquids,
Liquids
and
and
solids.
Okay, very good. Those are the 3 states of matter.
Liquids and solids.
Okay, yeah. So those are the 3 states of matter that we have. Now, the arrangement of molecules, the particles, the arrangement of particles in gas is not the same as the arrangement of particles of molecules in a liquid and in a solid. So for solid, they are packed together.
Yes.
The particles of solid, they are packed together. For example, if you look at an example of like a pen, a book, those are solid things. You find they are packed together. They are together. But the liquid has some space. There's some free movement. And then the gas, you find the particles are far apart. So those are the states. So now, this states is going to tell us that this one will change. I want to draw and then remove. This state is going to tell us that it will be, there is something that will change from this one to this one. Are you getting? And then it can also, from this state, it can also change back to this state. Now let us first identify these 2 states. Which one is this one? The first one on our left. Which state is that? Kabuye, can you tell us what is this one? Which state of matter is this?
Water.
The first one.
Liquid.
Okay. The first one, I don't think whether it is liquid. Let's try Paul Moses. Paul Moses, what's the first one? This one here on the left, on your left-hand side. Paul Moses, which state is that? Kabuya has said liquid. Paul, you unmute and tell us. Mutebi? Okay, Mutebi cannot be able to unmute. Let me go to Opio Alan. Opio Alan, which state is this? Are you agreeing with Kabuya?
Hair.
Okay, which we can call it gas. We can call it what?
Gas.
This is gas, the gaseous state. This is the state, the gas. Kabuye, gas has the particles which are not packed together. They are far apart. Are you getting Kabuye? Okay. Then this one is liquid. This one here. The one in the middle is liquid. Alan, please. Opio, Alan, please. This one is liquid state. The one in the middle is liquid state. Liquid state. Okay, so this automatically now tell us that the last one. Okay.
and kidnapped them. We dropped them in the Grand Canyon.
Okay, I've removed that person who was making noise. So automatically we have liquid, we have gas, liquid, and this one can be solid now. So these are the 3 states of matter that we have. So what are these physical changes? Solid, solid state. So don't mind, I've written them clearly, but this one is just the summary of what we have learned there. Now, I want you to tell me this arrow on top. There is a change of state from gas to liquid. So how do we call that? This one, let me put it as A. Let me put it as A. Let me put this one as B. And then let me put this one as C. And let me put this one as A, B, C, D, E. This one as letter E. For those four first. So I want you to tell me A, which is change of state is that, which process is that? I want you to tell me B, I want you to tell me C, and I want you to tell me A, B, C, D. Sorry, this should be D. Okay, so let's begin with A. Someone will tell us C. This one will tell us B. So which is state, which process is this? Gas changing to liquid in the middle. Gas changing to liquid, this one. Gas changing to liquid, letter A. Gas changing to liquid, what is the answer there? Let me pick. What is the answer there? Infinix X37. Do you know your name? Your name is Infinix X37, 367. Can you unmute and tell us? You see, you don't know your name. Which change of state is that? Which physical change is that? Letter A. Which physical change is that? Let's pick Desmond Namakola. Desmond Namakola. A.
Sublimation.
Please, Desmond, can we see gas changing to liquid? Gas changing to liquid is A. Is that sublimation? Gas changing to liquid. Let's try Sarah. Sarah, can you correct us? Sarah Mwesegwa. Sarah Mwesegwa, can you correct?
Condensation.
Gas changing to liquid, that is condensation. Very good. That is condensation. Let me write it there. Okay, you said condensation for letter A, condensation. That is good. Okay. Condensation, we go to B. We go to B. Yes, B is liquid changing to gas. Liquid changing to gas. I'm picking someone here to tell us. Okay, Gospel. Gospel, you can unmute. Barasa. Liquid changing to gas is letter B. Barasa. Barasa, people are unmuting for you, cannot unmute. Okay, Nicole. Christam Nicole, can you unmute and tell us B?
B is evaporation.
Very good. That is liquid changing to gas. That is evaporation. B. Very good, Barasa. Evaporation. 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 Very good. We are going to see now. Who is speaking? Who is giving us this C? Okay. Okay. Who is giving us C? We have Natalia. We have Daniela. Please let me pick someone who has not put up the hand down here. Rocky Caleb. Yes, Rocky Caleb. Can you tell us this one of C? C is liquid changing to solid. Rocky Caleb.
Solid state.
Look at C. Look at C. C, let me draw for you properly. We are saying that liquid changing into solid. Which process is that? Liquid changing into solid. Which process is that? Caleb? Okay.
Liquid. No.
Liquid changing to solid. Which process is that? Okay, I can pick someone to help you.
Freezing.
Okay, very good. It is freezing. Very good. It is freezing. Let me write your answer there. Okay, it is freezing. Very good. So once liquid freezes, it changes into solid. Then now we have D. Let me write D up. I don't have space down there, as you can see. Let me write D here. So which process is that? Yes, solid changing to liquid. Somebody said melting. Who is that? Are you still Caleb?
Yes.
Okay, Caleb, thank you. But I wanted to pick someone else, but you said melting. So that process is called melting. Sorry. Okay, let me write my melting here. Melting. So these are physical changes that take place in the states of matter. And this is very common. Sometimes they ask you. They normally ask you. So then now, when it is direct change from gas to solid, if I pick from gas to solid, that is where you will find what we are calling from gas here. I take it direct to solid. And from solid there, I take it direct to gas. That is what they call sublimation. So these are examples of physical changes that take place in the states of matter, where we said matter is anything that occupies space and has weight. So basically, let me now write for you clearly, because this one we have been trying by ourselves, but let's see whether what we have been saying is correct. Let's see whether what we have been saying is correct. Let's see whether what we have been saying is correct. Okay. Okay, so here we are having, oh, this one is still connecting. Are you seeing? This is the gaseous state. That first one is the gas. The second one is...
Babe, Henry should be approaching the laundromat now. Yeah, we can see everything through the cameras in the map.
Paul, Banange, Paul. Okay. Then we have solid state. So what are the changes? Yes, there is condensation. So you can follow the arrow. From gas to liquid, there is condensation, which you have already said. Look at that arrow, learners. Then another one, there is evaporation. Evaporation is from liquid. Follow the arrow down here, from liquid to, okay, let me try to keep following that arrow. Then we have melting. Melting, it is from solid to liquid, that is melting. Then freezing is from liquid to solid. So these are changes in the states of matter. Then we also have sublimation, we have, so these are the changes of states of matter, changes, physical changes in the states of matter. So otherwise, members, this is where we are going to stop. And these are the changes. Examples of physical changes, we have condensation, melting, freezing, evaporation, and sublimation. So just as I promised you before we end, I want some few people to tell me some few answers here before we end. I want some few people to tell me some few answers here. Let me pick them and you listen to my question. When I pick you, you give me the answer. Okay. Wanted. Okay, Gloria, unmute and listen to my question. What are physical changes? Gloria, what are physical changes?
Physical changes are changes in which no new substance is formed and can be reversed.
Thank you so much. That is a wonderful answer. Physical changes, these are changes in which no new substance is formed and can be reversed. Very good. Okay. Okay, another question goes to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, can you unmute and listen to the question? Good, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, give me 2 examples of physical changes. Again, you have again muted. Elizabeth, can you unmute? Give me 2 examples of physical changes. Please.
And condensation.
Very good. Evaporation and condensation. Very good. Okay, let me again ask some people from down here. We have Malcolm. Malcolm, can you give me one characteristics of physical change? Malcolm, unmute. And you give us one characteristics of physical change.
They can be reserved.
You say they can be reversed. Use the word reverse. Malcolm, unmute and say reversed.
Reversed.
They can be reversed. Can you say?
They can be reserved.
Reversed. Use the word reverse, not reserved. Say they can be reversed. Again.
They can be reversed.
Reversed. Say the word reversed. Can you say reversed?
Reversed.
They can be reversed. Again.
They can be reserved.
Malcolm, say reversed. Can you say reversed?
Reversed.
Again.
Reversed.
Again.
Reversed.
They can be reversed. Say the sentence.
They can be reversed.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Another one, Joseph. Joseph, unmute and give us another characteristics.
Not produce any heat or light when giving out or absorbed.
Okay, you say heat or light is not given out or absorbed. Very good. No heat or light is given out or absorbed. Very good. Another one. Let's pick another person to give us another characteristics. Jeremiah. Jeremiah, another one. Okay. Angel, can you give us another one? Angel, unmute and give us. Angel.
Evaporation.
Some of you are staying where people are making a lot of noise. So otherwise, for the few that have answered, that is very correct. That means you have been following the lesson very well. So this work, you are going to find it. Even the exercise is here. The exercise is here, but you are going to find it in the classwork. This is our exercise, but you are going to find this exercise in our classroom. So otherwise, thank you so much for being good children. Unless you have a question, Faith, do we have any question? Faith, can you unmute and talk? Yes, Faith.
I was giving the answer.
Okay, which answer were you giving me? Characteristics?
No new substance is formed.
No new substance is formed. Very good. Very good. So thank you, members, for listening to me. Thank you for being good children. I hand you over to our, don't go away first. There is a teacher who is going to talk, and then after he will tell us bye-bye. So let's listen from that teacher if he's there. Teacher Eric, you can take over.
Yes, thank you, Tonny, for the lesson.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think almost all of that, all of these members are on. They are all on Google Classroom. Maybe I'll post a link only for the few who may still not be on Google Classroom. So let me just send there let me just paste there the link in the chat. For those who are not yet there, those who have just joined us, you can click on that link to join the classroom. Everything will be there. All the notes, all the assignments, you'll find them in that link, in that classroom. Oh, that is P6. This is P5, sorry.
Yeah, you post for P5.
Sorry, that is for P5. Let me paste the one for P6. Oh, I mean, that's for P6. Let me paste the one for P5. Sorry about that. Yes, P5 is.
Okay, Eric, are you still there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm trying to get the link
for P5 class.
P5 class. Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, those who are already on Zoom, they can, those who are already in that class, they can leave. We shall have a brief demo in the next class.
Yeah, when we meet as P5 members. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, this is the link.
Okay.
That's for P5. They should ignore the other one.
Yeah,
so you click on that link and then you join the class. And then next tomorrow's lesson we shall do a demo.
Okay.